welcome to part 12. So, where are we? Well, I'll show you where we are. Here are some working ailerons, and they're working in the correct direction, plenty of travel, and this is on the bottom wing. So all we need to do now is transfer that to the top wing. Now, just to add something from my last video, I negated to apply this little tab here and this little tab here. I've just forgotten to mention it at the time, so that will then create a post to go to the top wing like that, and then the top wing ailerons will work in unison. So the bottom wing here is essentially finished. I need to put some braces in when I join up the wings, because obviously there's got to be a dihedral of some sort. Now, talking about the dihedral, I have decided that I'm going to put about half the dihedral that is mentioned in the drawing. The reason is, and you may say, well, hang on a minute, well, look, this is designed to be a rubber powered airplane with no control from the ground. Therefore, it needs a high stability. These ailerons give me that stability because I will control it from the ground. Therefore, less dihedral is needed, and I need it to be less stable so I can make the model aerobatic. Does that make sense? I hope so, because that's the intention. If you look at fighter aircraft, they have a very low dihedral and a very thin wing, and now that I have all these extra ribs in, this will give me extra strength, and this is not a thick wing, so I'm hoping this will fly like a fighter aircraft of the period. Well, I won't get it to fly at all. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to apply the dihedral, and then what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to cover the ailerons with the skin and then put them back onto the wing and then skin the whole wing, and then hopefully it'll fit into the fuselage or the fuzz. If that all goes together okay, I can then with some confidence build the upper wing. I won't need to put any of this in. All I will need to do is just make the aileron and put a little noggin on the underside and then place that into position, and that's the plan. So here we go. Well, I have covered the ailerons, gone a little bit better than usual because I am absolutely rubbish at covering, but I thought I'd do a trial fit of the wing, which seems to be okay. The ailerons are moving absolutely as they should be. This is important now because I'm about to cover the bottom wing, which means I'm sealing in the servos, and the only adjustment I will have is lengthening or shortening the rods underneath. So I have to make sure that they are central, which they are. So now we're ready and getting rapidly to the fun bit. So I'm going to cover the wings. I'm not going to bore you with that because I'm just rubbish at it and you'll laugh at me. So there you go. And there's a lot better people out there who can show you how to do it better than I can, and well, it's difficult to do, when you're trying to do things and you got the camera there and everything else. Go and watch somebody else covering. Anyway, I'm going to cover the wings, well, the bottom wings anyway. Okay, well, it seems we've gained a pilot, and finishing off at the cockpit here, I have completely, as you can see, covered the bottom wing. The extra wing ribs have come out not too bad at all, giving it quite a nice finish on that wing, considering I'm no good at covering. I'm quite pleased with that. The ailerons are working well, lots and lots of travel, and they're going in opposite directions. So now the main body is more or less finished. I've got some things to do in it, obviously. I've not glued the bottom wing in. I've just placed it there for now to see how it looks, because we've got to make sure that the wing is square on. So obviously I need to take a measurement from here to here, which would be about 260 mil, as long as it's the same to there, and the wing looks level, then we haven't got too much of a problem. In which case the bottom wing can be glued in, which then means that the undercarriage can then be put on, and constructed and put on, and then we can then go hell-bent for leather for the top wing. So that's where we are. Not very good covering, but then again, I've always said I've never been very good at covering. The bottom is also done, and that's where we are at. Oh, by the way, the Vintage Model Company have brought out a new model, which is the Fokker DR1. For those of you who are uninitiated, the Fokker DR1 is the Red Baron plane. And guess what they put on the wings? Ailerons! I wonder. Anyway, so that's where we are, ladies and gents. I will update this a little bit later. I just want to make sure that everything's all lined up before I go any further. And I'll be quite happy to, once the wing is glued on, turn it upside down and show you what's what. This is here Mr. Biggles. He's been flying undone at the moment. Actually, I think the author of Biggles, I don't think he ever flew an SE5a. I don't think he did, because he was taken prisoner during World War One. What was his name? Johns, I think his name was. Anyway, he was a prisoner during World War One, so I don't think he ever got to fly an SE5a. But I'm going to call him Biggles anyway. And for those of you who don't know who Biggles is, well, you know, shame on you. So there we are. The undercarriage, yes, the moment we've all been waiting for. How can we make it land without ripping the bottom wing off? Okay, so what we have with the undercarriage, just be aware that this is balsa in two pieces, and it's very soft, and it's so soft that you can push a needle and thread through it very, very easily. And I am thinking about tracing these out onto ply, just in case the undercarriage collapses and I can just replace it with ply. It is not strong. So what I did was, I think this is a 0.32 gauge, or 0.32 gauge wire, because the Americans use imperial like we used to, but I think they used to use it a bit differently as well. But you know, it's Americans. What can you do? So anyway, they use they don't put enough of this wire in the box to make both sides of the undercarriage and the axle. But I did have some 1.5 wire, and I drilled out the centre of the wheels to do it. Now, how do I know all these sizes? Because if you care to, you can go out and purchase a drill gauge, and they work great, not just for sizes of drills but sizes of wires. This one only goes down to 1/16. That's for my imperial. For my metric, this one goes down to 1mm. You can get them to go down a lot further than this, These are brilliant. You don't use them every day, but when you do have the use or the care to use one, they are invaluable. They really do help out. So that's my topical tip. So there we are. So I had to use a bit of 1.5, drill out the center hole for the wheels. These come in 4 parts. You have to glue them together. Now what I did with the wheels is I completely masked off everything and then tucked in the circumference, took my knife, cut around it, pulled off the masking tape, just left this here, and then I used Tamiya AS30 dark green RAF, sprayed it twice, you let it go off and you harden, then you put another coat on. Once that's done, cover it with Tamiya TS13 clear, and that seals it all in just nicely. Now I didn't go to the bother of, you know, making wheels red and white and everything else because well, a couple of reasons really. Number one, I want to crack on, and I just don't think that with my poor workmanship on the covering it warrants me going in depth and doing the wheels. You know, at the end of the day, the SE5a was manufactured in numbers, and they would have come out, you know, like this, and they would be customized by the pilots or the ground crew at the time. So coming back to the axle, this would have been actually a little wing. So in effect what you would have is a triplane, believe it or not. But what I've done with this is I left the underside natural, and then the top side I sprayed with the green twice, put a little bit of lacquer on it, and now that's ready to go. So what we have now is, I just took out those little corners here. On the drawing the axle goes on the bottom like that. I don't think it really matters, and I made a mistake, so you know, hey, live with it. So that will go through there. I had to drill these out to be 1.5mm holes as well. They go in there as so, and then once you've got everything lined up, I suggest probably doing it once the wing's on. Epoxy that into place. The wheels then go on quite nicely, and once I know everything's as it should be, I've got some little tiny nuts somewhere. I'll put a glue 2 little tiny nuts there, stop the wheels coming off, and that works quite well so far. So all that's left now to do is to double check the placement of the bottom wing, glue that in, glue in the undercarriage, put the wheels on, put the tail runner underneath the rudder, the skid, and once that's all in place, stop top wing, which is something I'm very much looking forward to. So I think that covers all that for now, and just like to say thank you for staying with me as long as you have. We're getting nearer to the end now, and I hope you've been enjoying it. Oh yes, now look, press the like button, you know that thumbs up thing like that, yeah, the one that's got 0 underneath it. Press that. Only press it once, because if you press it twice it goes back to 0. Press it once, okay, go to the subscribe, press subscribe, and then press the bell. Now press the bell that says all, yeah, so press the bell that says all, subscribe. So press the like button, press subscribe, press the bell, all, and you will be all right. You will have good luck for the rest of your natural. Thank you for watching, and I love you all.